What is up, my geeks and freaks? What's going on? Big Girl Geek here with a brand new review. And of course, I'm here to recap and review The Flash. Season 5, episode, I don't know, 22 or 23, something like that. The season finale, entitled Legacy. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Geek Out.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, like I said, it's the season finale, and what a long season it has been for our favorite Scarlet Speedster, the fastest man alive, The Flash. We're finally here. I need a season break. You guys know how I feel about the show if you've been watching my videos for The Flash, and how it's just been a mess. This episode started off very slow and boring and ended on a high note, so I have very mixed feelings about this episode. It started off right where the last episode picked off, with Ralph throwing himself in between the blast to stop the dagger from being destroyed, and he got turned into like these cubes or something, and look, it gave me chills and goosebumps. I can't think of it. I didn't like him looking like that, but thankfully all he needed was a blast from Cisco and he went back to his regular state. So Sherlock Wells figured out why Ralph had threw himself into the blast, and that if the dagger gets destroyed in their time in 2019, that then helps Thawne in his time and destroys the dagger, which is dampening his powers. So they decide to make a plan to go to, they capture Grace. They capture Grace. They go to find her in the cabin in the woods, and they actually did something. They capture her in like the sphere. Cisco vibed her, or Joe threw a vibe device at her. You know, the portal vibes they have when Cisco is conveniently not around. And those come in handy later. They will be next season. And they vibe her to Star Labs, and they all have guns on her and everything, while Nora goes into Lil Grace's mind with the help of Cecile somehow, for some reason, and Joe, and she convinces Grace to take the cure. But by the time Grace takes the cure, Big Cicada comes back. Giant Cicada, Big Grace comes back. And because she has the dagger, it is counteracting the effects of the cure, and they have to destroy the dagger, which they end up doing. And Grace goes to grab the dagger right at the end, and because I guess she touched it, or I don't know if the timeline switched, but I guess she touched it. She kind of dusted like Thanos did in Avengers Endgame. Spoiler! But come on. So yeah, she dusted like they did in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and she went away. And I don't know. I think that was kind of okay. I mean, I wasn't scared of her or her uncle, and we did get to see Chris Klein. I had to take a pause because I don't know how I feel about it. It was like, okay, Chris Klein, we had two Chris Kleins, a good Chris Klein and a bad Chris Klein, but thankfully he's gone and his bad acting is out of here. So we were teased 2 deaths. I don't know if Grace is considered one of those deaths, but I guess we'll go with that. And so once the dagger got destroyed, that then allowed Thawne to be free. He went and killed all security guards and killed the black security guard that was watching him. Did he have a name? I don't know, but you guys know who I'm talking about. That's how I can describe him. The older black guy that Ralph impersonated. And right when he was about to escape with his flash ring, time reversed, Nora and Barry showed up. And he's like, oh, you figured out how to reverse time. Clever. You know how I figured all this out? Is when you visited me on the 100th episode, and Nora, being Nora, blurted out Cicada, and that's how that whole situation came about, and Thawne got his plan to manipulate Nora. And of course, Thawne escapes from the jail, and him and Nora and Barry chase him, but they knock him out with the help of the sphere, the time sphere, which I don't think I've ever seen before in my life before this season. And the whole team Flash shows up, minus Joe and Cecile. They don't show up. And he's like, oh, the whole team's here. Ralph Dibny's supposed to be dead. He's like saying to you. They do these quips back and forth. He says to Cisco, like, if it wasn't for me vibing you through the heart, you wouldn't have your powers and be someone. He's like, I don't need powers to be somebody. And they fight, and they don't get knocked down right away. Team Flash is kind of holding their own, and I'm very impressed and proud of them. So that's kind of where the episode picked up for me, and it wasn't boring after Grace Cicada died. And so they fight him, and they got him. Nora's about to like reverse flash him, but of course Barry and Iris stop her. And then right when that happens, she starts to vanish. The timeline changed when they stopped Cicada, and now Nora is being erased from existence. Thawne says the only way to stop it is for her to go into the negative speed force. And he's throwing his quips at them still. He's like, I think of her as a daughter. I care for her. You're not a good teacher as me. All this stuff. They run into negative speed force, but Nora comes out. she's like, I can't do that. I don't want that a part of me for the rest of my life. And so she kind of just lets herself get erased from the timeline. And it's very sad. It was sad. I almost teared. It was sad. So they lose Nora. So that, I guess, is the second death. Singh, they have like a group meeting at Star Labs. Sherlock Wells leaves after saying, family, love you, blah, blah, blah. Singh calls Cecile, Joe, and Barry down to CCPD. He's leaving. He's now becoming chief of police. Joe is becoming captain of police. And Captain Singh says he knows that Barry's the Flash. Hallelujah. About freaking time. We've been new. He's like, how did you know? He's like, come on, I'm a detective. He saw him in the end of season 4 with his mask off. He knew who he was. So I like that. Iris didn't reveal she was pregnant. Like, everybody was freaking out and thought she was going to do. No, she didn't pull Felicity. And they go back to Star Labs. Barry and Iris have a moment. But before that moment, Cisco takes the cure. And it's very open-ended. Everyone's assuming Carlos was leaving. I guess he's coming back, but just not as Vibe. He's just going to be a tech support again, or he may not come back at all. He goes off to be with his girlfriend, who he did reveal to that he was Vibe early in the episode, but he took the cure. He left Caitlin, which I'm assuming is a new suit, as a thank you. Ralph, what was the name? I have to go back. Ralph is in his office. He's the master detective, which Wells gave him that after leaving. And there's a name on a folder that I think is hinting towards the villain of the next season, or the story of the next season. If somebody remembers that name, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, so he takes the cure. He's no longer Vibe. I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he's going to be on recurring status, because I know he wants to do more theater, the actor Carlos. So we'll see. Barry and Iris have a finally an alone moment. They see Nora left them a video message similar to what Barry did. And, she's just saying, I love you, thank you, and all that stuff. And they're crying, and it's very sad. Goes off. The extra credit scene is the Time Vault waking up and Gideon letting them, saying to an empty room that there's a time shift. Barry is not disappearing in 2024, he's disappearing in 2019. End of episode. Like I said, the first half of this episode was boring to me. I was actually kind of falling asleep, but it picked up when it got to Thawne, and I enjoyed that. It was very sad. I finally felt a little bit emotional about some things. Again, we really didn't lose anybody major off the main cast that we have known since season 1. We did lose Nora, so that we're down a team member. But I still feel that the team is too big. We know another version of Wells is coming. Probably. I don't know. That's also open-ended. Is Tom Cavanaugh going to come back? But Thawne did say, and see you until our next crisis, which we don't know Crisis on Infinite Earths is coming. And you can check out Arrow and see what happened with that. So, I don't know if he's coming back. Caitlin's still around, and I don't know. I guess I'll do a season best and worst, but this episode did not feel like a season finale to me, and it was boring the first half. So for that alone, I wasn't feeling it. It picked up the second half, but it should be great throughout the whole episode. I don't think it should be slow. I don't think it should be boring in the beginning. You know what I mean? And I think that the show relies too much on the popularity of Thawne, and they need to stop and find a villain worthy of the Flash. So if I had to rate this episode, I'd probably give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I don't know, 6, 7 out of 10. Which isn't really good, I think, for a finale. I think a season finale should be 10 out of 10. I should be amped, feeling excited, can't wait till the next season. And I'm just not getting that from the Flash and from this episode, Legacy. But it had its great moments. Kudos to Grant and Candace. They carried the season on their back. That's why I'm wearing the Candace Patton shirt, because that girl knows how to act. I tell you what. And the acting in the episode between the leads, Grant, Candace, and Jessica, who plays Nora, tremendous acting. Even Carlos had great acting when he was deciding to take the cure. He had a tear rolling. Daniel Panabaker, for some reason, couldn't squint out a tear. But yeah. And Tom Cavanaugh does his best work when he's Thawne. Joe and Cecile didn't have much to do this season, I'm sorry to say, so maybe we can reduce them. Ralph didn't have much to do this episode or this season either. He had a few moments, but not too much. I don't know. Like I said, cast way too big. But, I enjoyed the half of this episode, so that's why I give it a 6, 7 out of 10. What did you guys think? I can't wait to discuss with you. As always, until next time, I'm out of here. Big Girl Geek out. Peace.
Hey, where are you going?
You just watched the cool video. Subscribe.